Hi guys, welcome to Making Sawdust. I'm Kevin and thank you for joining me. Today I am making a router plate for freehand routing for use with my Avid Power trim router. So if you want to add more functionality to your trim router or even a larger router, a router plate's really the way to go. You're going to add a lot of stability simply just by the size of the base, but also these two handles are going to add a lot of flexibility and control with your router, as opposed to just hanging on to your router freehand with the stock base. So if you want to add some control and stability to your freehand routing, stick around, guys. I'm starting with a 12 by 12 inch piece of 1/4 inch acrylic. I decided to get the most out of my material by turning it on a diagonal so my hands were a bit further apart, and also would allow this plate to be used for a larger base router. My design is not written on ancient Greek tablets. It's just what feels appropriate for my needs and the material that I have available. Your design certainly can have its unique features too. I mark approximately 3 inches from each corner to locate my handles. I will draw a radius from that point with a compass, and I will also draw a few perpendicular lines to establish where I would like the other curve to intersect. I'll use a larger compass to draw the other two arcs. Those are approximately a 10-inch radius, and I'm just marking on an arbitrary perpendicular center line, and I'm going an equal distance away from that center line and adjusting my compass accordingly until I can get a good radius. I've been able to locate the center of my plate by using those two perpendicular lines. And that's where I'm going to mount my stock plate to lay out our hole pattern. Using an 1/8 inch drill bit and 832 tap, along with some WD-40 for some cut and lube, our plate is nearly complete. Mounting the stock router plate to the acrylic will serve as a template for my center hole. I used a flush trim bit after drilling a pilot hole large enough for the router bit. You could use a hole saw, a jigsaw, a Forstner bit to make that hole as well. I can simply cut the final shape of our plate using the bandsaw. A scroll saw or jigsaw would also work well. My bandsaw is mounted on a flip-top platform in my workbench, so I suggest you watch that build video next. For the handles, I'll use a 6-inch dowel that I can easily cut in half here too. Off to the shopsmith for some sketchy shaping. I will add some paste wax for the finish and mount the handles using 1-inch long wood screws and the router base using the screws from my router. Make sure to countersink your plate so the heads of the screws are flush with the bottom of the plate. And I can mount the handles using a wood screw, making sure to drill a pilot hole in the dowel and also countersink the plates so the heads are flush. Once the masking is peeled away, we can mount our router and our handle. So now that we got our plate finished, I bet you guys expect me to do some freehand routing for you. Actually, we're going to have to save that for another project, guys. And I'm going to share with you what I've learned on freehand routing, but I am also going to refer you guys to the experts. Fella I follow on YouTube, Dave Routing, Dave the sign guy. You've probably seen him. He is an expert at freehand routing. I've learned a lot from him, so why don't you go check him out. Thank you for joining me here at Making Sawdust. As always, guys, get out in your shop, make some sawdust.